What's up, everybody? I'm Anthony,
And I'm Nick.
and we're from At Work. Today, we're sitting down with Josh from Blue Collar Scholars, and we're going to talk about how their experience has been working with us, the types of services we've been able to complete for them over the years, and why they continue to work with us and have been working with us for the past 5 years. So let's hop into it.
My name is Josh. I am kind of a catch-all at Blue Collar Scholars. My official title is Executive Administrator. I run everything on the office side. My main thing is driving efficiency and growth processes. So I've been here for, February of 2022, so about 2.5 years now. Gone through a lot of major changes, and it's been a wild ride.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Thanks for the introduction. We've been working with Blue Collar Scholars since 2019 or so, sometime around
Yep.
there. And previously with Jamie, and then you took over what he was doing. We've been making a lot of changes really since we started. Blue Collar Scholars was kind of started out with no marketing at all, and we've just kind of been adding services as we went and made a lot of changes since you stepped into the role and have kind of helped guide a lot of those changes so they can best serve Blue Collar Scholars and their goals. So it's been super helpful to work with somebody internally who understands marketing in general and can help, guide those decisions for us, knowing what you know internally about the company. One of the things that I want to ask you is 2019, or at least as far back as you can tell, how has our services played a role in the growth that Blue Collar Scholars has achieved?
So 2019, we grossed like 1.5, 1.6 million in sales. We had 3 full-time staff and about 10 contractors, 4, maybe 5 trucks. I think we bought a couple that year. And then I think we about 11 or 12 major services that we offered, versus now we peaked at just over 7.5 million in sales, and we got about 20 full-time people right now, over 60 subcontractors that we're using regularly, not to
Hmm.
mention, some one-offs or occasional people. We're up to 19 trucks, 5 or 6 big pieces of equipment, and we're up to, if you're looking at major services, like I said, we were 10 or 12 outside the house. Now we are closer to 25 inside and outside the house. You guys being able to help us whenever we launch something new, getting it out there and getting in front of people, like everything we've done has been able to get out in front of people really quickly. So
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that. Yeah, it's been awesome on our side to be able to see where you guys have started and where you've grown. It's not only, it's not all us, certainly. It's a lot of, we're only as good as the company that we're working with. And you guys do a really great job of doing great work, adding in new services, having visions and goals, and then executing on those to be able to get you to where you want to be. And it's been really rewarding for us to be able to take a part in that. So thank you. And I want to also pitch that back to you as like the good work that you do there certainly helps us be able to help you guys get to where you want to go. So it's an equal partnership, and you do a great job of what you do too.
Yeah, also kind of leading off of that, since we've done so many different types of services with you guys, what would be one of the most valuable things that you think we've been able to achieve for Blue Collar Scholars?
monetarily, half of our sales can be directly correlated to the different campaigns you guys run for us, between Google Ads and managing our social media and our directory sites. I was looking at the numbers the other day, and almost consistently for the past couple of years, since we really started tracking some of this, half of our sales can be directly correlated to the campaigns you guys run for us. Non-monetarily, it's the peace of mind. Like, I know I don't have to worry about, something getting taken care of. I don't have to worry about getting bad advice. You guys are super honest about things that we do and don't need to do, so that peace of mind there is just as important to me
Mm-hmm.
as, not just the ad campaigns and stuff that we have going.
Yeah, that's one of those things that you would hope to have in a partnership with somebody, is that you can pass off that worry that you might have in a certain area, and for us to be able to take over that for you has been
Yeah. No, it's definitely comforting for us, knowing that we don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's good to hear, because that's really our goal, is like we want to not just be a vendor for companies. We want to be partners and essentially kind of have a seat at the table with them and help come up with solutions to whatever problems they're having, whether that's, stuff internally or how to get more sales or how to convert more leads into sales or how to get more leads. And so it's nice to hear that we do kind of fill that role for you guys. And I think we certainly see that. And, I just wanted to thank you for your trust that you put in us to be able to get there, because we've been working on this relationship for a while now. And I think we've been able to achieve some really good things together. One of the things to kind of piggyback off that is I wanted to ask, and maybe you probably already answered this, but why do you think you guys stay with us year after year when there are, certainly other companies that you can go out and work for or work with?
A lot of it's that peace of mind. We've got the relationship established with you guys, and you've always been super helpful. We have looked before just to check. When times have gotten kind of rough, when we're looking at things like, okay, well, what can we do? And the cost, especially comparing the services that you guys provide us, is astronomically different than a lot of other people. And a lot of those people, like, they just wanted to sell us a service. They didn't really care if it was going to be beneficial to us or not. I can't count how many times you've told us, I don't think this is a good idea. Like, yeah, you could pay me to do it, but I don't recommend it. And that means a lot. You're here to honestly look out for what's best for us. You're not just here to sign us up for as much as you can to bring in as much revenue as you can. You legitimately want to help make us a better company. And internally, I love working with you guys. I've said this countless times. This is my meetings with you are my favorite meetings of the entire week. On the other side, Sam doesn't trust a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure he probably talks to you about as much as he does me. And so that kind of relationship is really hard to find in the first place. And when you find it, it's really, really difficult to let go of.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think that's great too, the relationship that's been able to be built between owner and agency, because that's something that is usually lacking. And in a lot of agencies, and between that relationship, you won't find that the agency will lead conversations in a way that is beneficial to the owner. It's been a lot of kind of, what do you want me to do for you? And I'll do it. But we try to bring an aspect of, this is where we see things can improve. And again, kind of to your point of rejecting or dismissing services that we think might not be important for you, that's also really important, right? And it's great to see that reflected in your comment there, because it's something that a lot of agencies will just get you onto some type of service that they potentially know isn't going to help you, but will do it anyways for their own benefit. Awesome. I'd like to roll into the last question, I think, in terms of, operations and the way that your daily business runs. How has our services helped you kind of in that regard? Have they been able to help you focus more on things that as a professional you can get done better, as well as for your founder and owner of the company? And how does it affect really kind of like your daily operations with the services that we cover?
So, obviously the revenue alone has been a huge help. With more money means we can grow and do more things. We've been able to bring in a lot more staff. We've been able to, get better equipment or more equipment. But outside of that, you guys automate and help us streamline a lot of different processes. One of my biggest task so far, and it's always going to be an ongoing task, is metric tracking and development. And when I got here, we had almost nothing. What we did have, a lot of it was being done so wrong, it was almost worse than not having anything. But through a couple of different softwares that we already have or that you guys have recommended to us, we're able to track a lot more information. So we're able to have that data. And me being a very data-driven person, it's the concept of don't tell me, show me. And you guys have been able to make it to where I can easily go through and I can look up, where did somebody come from? Like, did they come to us from Google or Yelp or, a website or a referral? And how much money has each one of those services brought into us, so we can know, all right, Yelp's not doing so hot right now, let's cut that down, but Google's doing great. Or, if we, like recently, we bumped up our Yelp campaigns a little bit, and we've been very clearly been able to see the effect that change has had. We went from, I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but say like 5 Yelp leads a month to like 15 Yelp leads a month. Okay, well, let's bump that up a little bit more and let's see how we're going. And then on the streamlining automation side, we try and do a lot of client outreach. That's been a big thing for us. The communication with our clients is huge. And we've been able to automate a lot of the basic communication just by having some stuff set where, as we move things through our pipeline, the automations you guys created automatically will send out certain emails, that are customized to that client a little bit. And it's been a huge help. It kind of gives people an understanding of what to expect and when to hear things from us, or reminders about certain things that they need to do. And then afterwards, some of those systems also like continue to reach out and keep us in front of that client. So if they have something new come up, they remember to call us back. So huge help.
That's great, man. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It really, the partnership that we have with you guys is really means a lot to us, and you in particular being at the company in your role, I think is an invaluable resource to us, because it's nice to have somebody inside who can understand what we're talking about and what the job is, so we can have sophisticated and educated conversations about, what we're trying to achieve and how we're going to get there. So it's great that you fill that role for us. And I think it really helps our goals across the board be able to be reached, because we're able to strategize and we're able to give you ideas and solve problems for you, but then you're able to go and implement them internally in the company. So, it's super helpful to have you, and we really valuable the relationship that we have, and just wanted to say thanks for taking the time to share a bit about your experience with us, and just thank you for the trust that you put in us to help Blue Collar Scholars get to where they are today.
Yeah, man. And it's been a really cool relationship. You guys came to us from, if I remember right, because I wasn't here, but everything I've been told is another small business friend of the company found you, or was using you for something, and then that referral means a lot. So obviously we came in. I know of a couple people that have been sent to you. I know at least one or two of them you guys have worked with, which means a lot, because personally I'm not a big fan of like vouching for people, but the work you guys have been able to put in and do for us, and the peace of mind that comes with working with you guys, it's a no-brainer. I honestly, I couldn't imagine working with another crew doing all the stuff that we do with you guys. Just the personal touches you put on things. I don't know. I don't want to keep going over like the same thing over and over again, but it's just it really is important, having somebody that I know I can say, hey, I want to get this taken care of. And especially with being as busy as I am, if I say, hey, can we make this change, or can we make this happen? Like, I don't have to worry about it ever again.
Yeah.
Next week when we have our meeting, I don't bring it up, you do, and it's like it's either done or it's a progress update, and I can forget about it, which is personally like my job specifically here, one of the biggest things that I can hope for from anybody. And the only people I've ever not had to worry about that way has been you guys, and it's been awesome. And then on top of getting it done, but like we get results. They may not always be good results, but that's the market. So, and you can't bat 1,000, but just that peace of mind working with you guys. That is just fun. You guys make marketing fun, at least for me. I mean, granted, I'm a little bit biased. I've got a little bit of a background, but I've worked with people before in e-commerce platforms and marketing platforms and stuff that were just that dry and mundane and boring, like Ben Stein, Ferris Bueller kind of meetings, and they're mind numbing. Versus when we have conversations like this, where it's just like I almost forget I'm at work.
Nice. I think
There we go.
I believe that the reward for good work is more work, and we've been able to do that. You guys have given us more work. On that note, do you know what we started doing with BCS, and then like what we currently do service-wise? If you could kind of like run through the list.
So I can't speak prior to beginning of 2022. I don't really know a lot of what you guys are doing. I know what you guys are doing when I got here. You had some of the automations that were set up that are leaps and bounds ahead now. As we've continued to grow and continue to do things. And we were doing mass mailers, I think, is all we were really doing then, right? I know we weren't doing Google ads. I know we had a Yelp, but were you managing our Yelp then?
No, we weren't managing the Yelp. You guys did have a Yelp. Yelp was a big player for you guys in the early days.
Yeah,
naturally.
Yeah. So I know like the majority of what we were doing were like just mass mailer, zip code style mass mailer campaigns. And we weren't hearing anything about any of those mailers, and we didn't have a way to track any of that stuff. And just from personal experience, like, I mean, one thing I can attest to is the validity of mass mailers. Like a decent chunk of my marketing stuff has been Army related, and leaflet bombs are like the biggest thing in our arsenal for a long time. And it's just where they just fly over an area and they drop this like bomb looking thing out of the back of an airplane, and it pops open and it just rains flyers or leaflets or whatever it is that we pack in there. And,
Mm-hmm.
they're borderline useless there too. But that's the only means of communication, and they barely work, versus now, like here in a first world country, I get mailers in, and they typically don't even make it into the house. Like I got my mailbox or my garbage can sitting over there by the back door as I'm walking through the yard. Yep. But this is the one thing I have to keep, and then I just trash the rest of it. And now, God, I don't even know if I can go through the entire list of what we have. We have what, 15 targeted Google campaigns, a couple generic ones. We've got Yelp advertising, our Google business profiles established, and you guys help keep track of all that, all the automation stuff that you do. We just built an amazing, beautiful new website for us with a lot of testing going back and forth on the website to figure out what works, and the free quote form stuff, social media management. My God, you're gonna have to help me out. I know there's a lot more.
That was one of them.
Yeah, SEO is a huge one. Our SEO growth, like the new website launch, we were upfront with us. Hey, things are going to take a dip right after we launch the website because of the way Google's algorithms work, and they're crawling and scanning stuff. And that dip was still better than where we were earlier this year. And he looks at our graph, and from it was 16 months ago, and it almost looks like we were flatlined at the bottom, even though it wasn't bad. And now we're like exponential, like everything's like 5 or 6 times higher in SEO than we were 16 months ago, which that continues to astound me, because like I did some SEO work at my previous company, and like things, just little minute changes over time. Like it was just a slow, steady tick up or down, up, down, 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing. Versus here, with smaller companies, you can get that exponential change, and you don't realize how actually exponential that can be. Like I said, we, over the course of a couple years, and COVID played a part with the industry, but over the course of a couple years, we went from 1.5 to $7.5 million. You can, looking at the data, you can see almost to the day where we started our Google ad campaigns. You can see when we started our SEO. Like everything is there, and it lays it out. And it's helped us make a lot of really, really smart decisions to help keep us alive, keep us evolving. And that's the name of the game in this industry anymore, is you have to evolve. If you're not evolving, you're dying. And you guys have been a crucial part, whether it be providing, like doing the legwork on things, or giving us the data to know what we should and shouldn't be doing anymore.
Cool. Well, yeah, Josh, thank you so much for your time and for just sharing a bit about your experience working with us. Like I said a few times in this little interview, it's been our true pleasure to be able to help Blue Collar Scholars. And thanks again for just all the trust that you put in our company to be able to execute and give you guys the ideas and be a support to help you reach where you want to go, and be a sounding board for the things that you guys want to try out, to get our advice. And we just appreciate the trust that you put in us to be able to be that for you. So thanks again for being here with us and for sharing your experience. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.